So let's go.
Austin, just first on the team, JJ talked about the collective, but to hold a team to 78 points like this, it had to be a little something from everybody. Where did you guys find that level of mindset and focus defensively to get the win tonight?
Just locking into schemes, personnel. When you play a team so many times, you kind of know exactly what to expect. So playing hard every single possession, finishing every possession with a defensive rebound. They're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the past 25 years, I think. So not giving them second chance opportunities is what they thrive on, and we did a really good job of all that tonight.
We know, just from you guys talking about it, it's very difficult to simulate a regular season NBA basketball game, let alone a playoff game, just physically. How did you kind of get through the two games, try to find a win at that pace, and how important do you think that it was to get that ahead of the next series?
It was good. Obviously, it would have been a much, I would say, much easier if I was able to, play a couple real games before. But, the nature of, what happened with the injury at the time, you got to play the cards you're dealt. And we did literally everything we could possibly do to get myself back in this opportunity. There was days I left my house at 7:30 in the morning and didn't get back until 7:30 or later at night. Just going through every possible thing I could go through to help myself get better, and we did it as a collective. We huddled up when it first happened, and it was basically attack every single day after that.
Austin, what's it like being out there in the court when LeBron's playing like that? And does anything surprise you about him anymore?
Yeah, a lot, everything, honestly. I told him after the game, and I would like to think we have a really good relationship, and I just went over to him and was like, "You're insane. Like, it's the stuff that you're doing is." It's not normal, like, especially age, whatever. He's been in the league for 23 years. The way he demands a game, the way he can control a game, it's impressive. I don't think that you can say into words how special he was, not just tonight, but this series, this year. I'm just happy that I don't have to play against him.
Austin, two of the biggest things you guys did this summer was add DeAndre Ayton and Marcus Smart. I think each of them only scored like 7 points tonight, but that doesn't really say it all about what they did.
Nope.
What have you just seen with those guys kind of evolve throughout the year in terms of, starring in their roles, role acceptance, and just overall winning impact?
Yeah, I'll start with DA. I went up to him right after the game and told him he was one of the biggest factors of us winning tonight. His physicality, guarding Sengun, the way he rebounded the ball offensively, defensively, 16 rebounds is a big number. Just his presence and his physicality and the way that he can guard in the post one-on-one, and then if, we're getting hurt with something else, he can switch 1 through 5, just his versatility. And then with Smart, he's a lead by example kind of guy. He shows up to work every single day and does what's asked of him, and leads our group. He's always talking, he's always saying what he thinks we could do to be successful, and everybody listens. He's been in the these situations many a times, and everybody respects what he has done in his career. And like you said, the stat sheet ain't gonna tell any of that. You got to be within our huddle to see the impact that both of them give us.
Austin, could you, elaborate more on the things that you did to get yourself back on the court in the few weeks that you were away?
A lot of treatment. I did not go with Luka to Europe, though. Don't say it.
In the next round. So, LeBron in that tone. We heard his stat line, but Rui Hachimura had 21 and made 5 3-pointers as well. Austin Reaves chipped in with 15. In the second game back from injury, the Lakers held Houston to just 18% from three-point range.
I want him at the block. Looked like you were falling down when you blocked it before you got up to.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
That was just straight willpower. You know, I think people underestimate my ability to get off the ground because they call me 6'3", and then not only that, I'm not always using my athleticism to the fullest, but I save them, pick and choose when I use it, and that was a clutch block, and it was much needed, so I had to make sure I didn't get dunked on.
Marcus, you guys held the Rockets to 13 below their season low. What about this defensive effort tonight was so dominating? What were you seeing from your teammates, that kind of all-in effort that JJ was talking about?
That everybody was locked in. You know, it started with Bron. OG came out. We know him, his mentality. And then, you know, for me, it's DA. You know, he played his ass off tonight, excuse my language, but he was locked in from the start to the finish. He kept his composure, and he really set the tone for us on that defensive end, and it allowed me, you know, to do what I do and everybody else to kind of, you know, galvanize and come together and do our thing. But it definitely started with those two guys.
Just quick follow-up. DA, in the last 3 games, his rebounding effort, putting one-on-one to shooting. What about the effort that DA's put in getting ready for the series, knowing it's going to be a matchup that two-time All-Star shooting as well?
He's been saying it all year, you know. Just wait till I get to the playoffs. You know, it's a different side of him that, excuse me, you know, fans haven't seen. You know, that we expect, that we know he can give. He knows it, and he's ready. He's been locked in from the start, and that's what we've asked for from everybody. But you know, to have him being able to step up one-on-one against the goon, right, and allow us to fan out to their shooters, right. He's huge, man. I have nothing more to say. I can sit here and talk all day about DA. You know, I love him. I'm proud of him. You know, and I'm proud to see that he's finally, you know, getting that confidence that he's been looking for and playing very well for us.
Marcus, JJ credited you and LeBron as former all-defensive players for your buy-in for the defensive schemes. What kind of role did you play in the last 48 hours in contributing to this defense that we saw tonight from you guys?
Just using my expertise, my IQ on that end, and you know, my experience, right? The team, coaching staff put a plan together, and they allowed me to kind of, you know, direct it, right? You know, whatever I see, they allow me to use my mind and use my instincts to help this team and being able to put guys in the right position, and then also just sacrificing my body for the betterment of the team.
What does it mean to you guys as a team to have fought through all the adversity y'all went through in the last month and be able to advance?
It means everything. It shows our resilience. And, you know, it shows the belief that we have in next man up. It shows the belief that the coaches have in us to be able to, you know, put us in the right positions. And it just shows that, you know, no matter how depleted we are, we're always going to go out there and compete and give it everything we got, and we're going to trust each other.
I asked Austin about when the defensive buy-in really took a step up, and he struggled to remember an exact moment, but he mentioned that when you guys start to play zone, that got you guys in the habit of communication and